दुखी है। तो इसमें ज्योतिषी विवेचन क्या है, इसके लिए हमारे विशारद के छात्र श्री निखिलेश माथुर जी से मैं आग्रह करूंगा कि वे अपना प्रेजेंटेशन प्रस्तुत करें। श्री निखिलेश माथुर।
Respected all dignitary, sorry sir, respected all the dignitaries and dear fellow students, astrology perhaps is the best gift of our ancient sages to which have given to us, and there could never have been a better mode than ICAS for delivering this gift to all the generations, past, present, and future. I'm sorry, my throat is sore because of COVID. I, Nikhilesh Mathur, a chemical engineer by profession, but more importantly, a student of Visharad at ICAS GWALIOR, seek permission to begin with my presentation from the wise men gathered at this conference by one hinder you at the later stage. So for the biological childlessness, we study the following study areas. We have the following study areas to study. One is the Desh, Kal and circumstances of the male and female. This would include situation of the natives, conducive conditions, status, position, work culture of the natives. We have found that there are many work cultures where the couple are not able to devote time. They do not have the space. They do not have the home for that. That could also be one of the reasons for biological childlessness. Next slide, please. Karak houses, Karak planets for children, houses 1, 5, 9 and 7th and their lords. Charts D1, D9, D7 have to be studied. 7th lord, 5th lord, Jupiter, Rahu, Ketu axis, highly afflicted second house, which can curb family expansion. Presence of Sarp dosh, Pitra dosh and Matra dosh. Planetary combinations leading to childlessness. Sanchit Karn, Prarabh, Shrap. These can also be some of the cases. Now here, the results of Sanchit Karm, Shrap are certain, but the timing of them would solely depend upon the Almighty. I would like to narrate a small story from Mahabharata at this point, which is quite in context to the subject matter. After the war was over, Dhritarashtra asked Krishna, "How is it that I had 100 sons and all of them have been killed?" Krishna replied, 50 lifetimes ago you were a hunter, and while hunting you tried to shoot a male bird. It flew away. In anger, you ruthlessly slaughtered the 100 baby birds in the nest, and the father bird had to watch it helplessly in agony from the sky. Because you caused that, so you had to see the pain of the death of 100 children of yours. But Dhritarashtra said, okay, but why did I have to wait for 50 lifetimes? Why it didn't happen in the next one? Krishna answered, you were accumulating punya during the last 50 lifetimes to get 100 sons. So that means the grinding mills of the Almighty are running and they give the product at the time. Let us come back on our charts, which we are going to study now by examples. This is a chart I have taken. This is a person known to me, 25 September 1953 at 13:13 hours. This is the D1 chart of him. Now here we will see that if there is affliction to all the three major houses, 1, 5 and 9. Lagan is of Mool Nakshatra, so the Ketu factor is there. Lagan is expected by Saturn. The 5th house is expected by Saturn, plus Lord of 8th moon is sitting there. The expecting Saturn has Mandi along with it, which makes Saturn even worse. It may cause extreme delays also. The 9th Lord Sun is expected by Rahu, and it sits with Rahu in D9. D9 is there in the next slide, sir. The 7th Lord Mercury is combusted, and it is also afflicted by Rahu. With reference to Fal Deepika, Bhavarth Bodhini by Pandit Gopesh Kumar Ojha and Ashutosh Ojha, The fifth Lord Mars is in the nakshatra of Venus in this particular chart, which is also the sixth Lord. Besides being the sixth Lord, Venus also is not very beneficial for a Dhanu Lagan native. This native is of Dhanu Lagan. The fifth Lord Mars is placed along with the sixth Lord Venus, and degree-wise they are quite close. One of them is 8 degrees and one of them is 13 degrees. So the fifth Lord becomes highly afflicted by sixth Lord. In this chart, it is important to observe that Moon, which is placed in the fifth house of D1, is also the 22nd Dreshkan. It is thus individually spoiling the fifth house, apart from the fact that it is expected by Saturn. We must always consider the Kalpurish Kundli also. Here, in the Kalpurish chart, the Mars becomes the fifth Lord, and since it carries the flavor of the sixth Lord Venus, it too spoils the fifth house. Chand Kundli is equally important, and here it is the same as Kalpurush Kundli. In both Kalpurush chart and Chand Kundli, the 22nd Dreshkan moon occupies the Lagan. If we study the Shadbal, the native moon is not very strong in the Shadbal also. Though the fifth lord is Vargotam in this Kundli, but it carries very little individual power for the fifth house matters. Less than 4 Vinashtak work points. In fact, it is just 2. It is thus not able to give the requisite force to the fifth house matters, which is for the children. Next slide, sir. Now let's check this is D9 and D7 and the then prevailing dasha. In D9, Jupiter sits alone in the fifth house. Now, as per Jyotish Ratnakar by Shri Devkinanda Singh, chapter 19, which is titled as Jivan Ki Pancham Tarang, this creates problem for having children or to the children if they happen to be. In D7, the fifth house gets occupied by Sun. Its presence there reduces the chances of having biological children. In D7, the seventh Lord Moon goes in the sixth house, that is the 12th from itself. It is in the Mercury sign there, and Mercury is the 64th Navansh for this native. To make matters worse, even worse for the biological children, the native had 8th Lord Moon Mahadasha for 10 years immediately after marriage in November 1981, followed by that of Mars for the next 7 years. So even when the native had a healthy physical married life, he had a typical medical issue which eluded biological child for him. Next slide, sir. पुत्र स्थाने धीपे चंद्रे मंदारहार संयुते भाग्ये वा पुत्र रशौ वा कारके पुत्र नाशम. This is a shlok which we studied in the book Chikitsa Jyotish by Dr. S. Krishna Kumar. The point number 5 matches, it complies with the chart. यदि पंचमेश चंद्र शनि राहु मंगल व बृहस्पति के साथ युत हो, if the fifth lord is with Saturn, Rahu and Mars or Guru, and if it is in the fifth and ninth lord, then there is a Mathur shap. Now you won't believe, this gentleman is known to me. His mother unfortunately expired in January 16, 1996, and he was devastated because his mother wanted a child. And within 3 months of her death, he could, nek dattak putra god le liya. Matlab he was not able to get a son till his mother was there. As soon as she died, he got a son within 3 months. Next slide, sir. This is the chart of the same native's wife. I was able to get that. 11th April 1957, 1344 hours at this latitude and longitude in India. Now here also we can see the houses 1, 5 and 9 are all afflicted. The first house, the native is of Ashlesha Lagan. Ashlesha Nakshatra, it comes under the category of Ganmul Nakshatra, which is bad. The native's first house is thus basically spoiled. The fifth house has Saturn and is aspected by Mars, which is incidentally is also the 64th Navansh year, which indicates medical issues related to the children, as Mars is directly aspecting its own fifth house. The Lord of fifth is also the 64th Navansh. The dispositor of fifth Lord, Venus. Mars is placed in Taurus, which is Venus, which is badly combusted. Venus is badly combusted here. Sun and Venus are having the same degrees almost. In our Kalpurush chart, the fifth house is expected by both Mars and Saturn. In our Chandra Kundli, the fifth house Lord Jupiter becomes combusted in D9. Next slide, sir. So we can see here that Jupiter is combusted in D9 chart. The ninth Lord Jupiter goes in the third house, and it is also the sixth Lord. The ninth house also has Venus, which is the 22nd Deshkan, that is in D1. Now the Ashtakvark points of the fifth house in this chart are very low, 21. Jupiter, the Putra Karak, is nearly of 0 degrees. In D7, the fifth house comes under the Rahu Ketu axis. I have not drawn the D7 chart here, but in D7, the fifth house comes under Rahu Ketu axis. Incidentally, the fifth lord here is again Venus, which is combusted. I have made one more chart here, but because of paucity of time, I don't think I'll be able to go for that. So can you come on slide number 21? Sorry, 23, slide number 23. Slide number 23. Yeah, this one. Now the common facts, sorry. '23, sir. No, 23, one. Yeah, this one. Now the common factors which we deduce from the charts, from the 3 charts, is affliction to the houses 1, 5, and 9, involvement of 22nd Dreshkan and 64 Navansh, intervention of Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu, no benefic aspects on 5th or 5th lord of D1, D9, or D7, low Shadbala of planets which can actually help reproduction from the native, inauspicious placement of the 5th lord, low Ashtakvark points in the 5th house, and last but not the least is advent of adverse Mahadasha after marriage. So these are some of the reasons. So next slide, please. The next one. So with this, I seek permission from the august educationists and eminent astrologers with my folded hands to close my presentation on biological childlessness. I am sorry that I was not able to deliver because of a very bad throat which I am having right now. I hope that with the formal education that I acquired till late by being an ICAS student and with little working experience I have had, I was able to exhibit my very limited astro knowledge in the right perspective. And with the continued strict guidance of my able teachers and ICAS GWALIOR chapter, I hope to keep improving day by day. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
धन्यवाद निखिलेश जी। किशोर जी अगले सदस्य को बुलवाएं।
धन्यवाद निखिलेश जी, आपने स्वास्थ्य खराब होने के बावजूद भी